Howdy. I forgot to mention yesterday how wonderful it was to see Lenny Henry again in the press, again talking about reparations. Now, I don't know about you, but in my humble opinion, I think this reparations continuing saga is just another prong in the fork to try and destroy the UK. So whether it's the woke agenda and DEI, ESG, teaching kids to kind of hate their history, their country, or 100 genders, or toxic masculinity, whether it's net zero, destroying our energy and food security and giving and pretty much shutting down most of our industries, giving all our money to China, or whether it's mass immigration. This is just another way to demoralise and basically bankrupt the UK, but that's just my opinion. I would love people like Lenny Henry, who I used to love. He, like so many others, used to be brilliant and really funny, have lost their shine in recent years, gone down the woke route. I'd love them to just understand that slavery happened globally, and it started in the Middle East, and the Middle East and Africa were the worst perpetrators, and the UK got involved in slavery for a relatively short period of time before they realised the atrocity that it was. And they borrowed so much money, it's only taken till recent years, I think 2020, for the taxpayers to pay off that historic amount of borrowing. So we have paid our dues. And the UK has done more than anybody in the world in terms of stopping slavery and promoting human rights. What Lenny Henry also forgets is that we lost hundreds of men at sea trying to stop the African squadron, the Navy, trying to continue the trade once we'd abolished it, and hundreds of men died at sea. People like Lenny also forget that masses of British people were taken as slaves, huge numbers, and in some documents it states that white slaves were deemed as cheaper because they were seen as weaker. They also forget the horrors that we had, how people in working environments in mines, or the mills, kids working in mills, the starvation in Ireland and stuff. Like, we've had horrors ourselves, as every nation has. They forget that people in Africa, like the African kings, had humongous wealth, made great wealth off the back of slavery. And they forget that slavery still exists today. I just really wish they would focus on things like that, where slavery exists properly in Africa, in China, other parts of the world. But they never focus on that, do they? They only focus on the country that has done the most in stopping slavery. And on top of that, I would say we're one of the most generous countries in terms of taking people in from all different countries, many people having benefited from the welfare system. We're also one of the most generous countries in terms of foreign aid given everywhere. And if we want to go down that route, like, do you hear the Brits asking Normans, Saxons, Vikings, Romans, or the Germans for war reparations? We don't, because we grow up, we've got thick skin, we understand that everywhere's got history, everywhere did something at some point that today would be deemed atrocious. But we move on and we try and make the best of our country. Rafe Hadelmanku is the guy to listen to on these kind of subjects. And he has spoken about so many times about how Britain has given the most to the world in terms of helping countries with infrastructure, trade, legal systems, education, speech, language, blah, 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 blah. Like, we need to stop going on about something from hundreds of years ago that we ourselves endured. I do think it's true in saying the word slavery comes the word Slav, which means white. This is not a skin colour thing. And the UK has less to feel bad about than so many other places. Like, I just wish we had a leader that drew the line in the sand on this subject now and kind of shut the door on anybody daring to bring it up again. And we've done our bit more than most. And if lefty lovies like Lenny have loads of time on their hands and they want to do something that's seen as good and, you know, get the virtue signaling badge out, then they should go put their energies into where slavery exists today and leave little old Blighty alone.